Your grandpa's.
Where's the place that you hung out?
Grandpa's place is about. Let's see. It's probably this one or probably this one or this one.
Yeah.
It was always up a couple of steps. Maybe it was this one over there.
Saw a couple of steps. They were they were right here, and he would come down, and he would sit inside the shop, and we would come around and sit inside the shop too. You know.
Yeah, and he'd give us char siu, the roast pork, when we were kids.
Was he still working at that time, or was he retired, or?
I think he was more or less retired.
Yeah, well, when we first met him, when 1930,
you weren't even born.
1950 something, 57, 58, when we were 5 or 6 years old. I'm sure, he was working then.
He had a restaurant. We went up there, and he was the first place we had lobster egg rolls.
Yeah,
right. He made them really big, big lobster egg rolls, and it was up like a second floor.
It was on 140th Street and Broadway.
Okay.
And,
so that was the last restaurant that he had.
That was and that it was pretty big, and it's pretty good, My father remembers that a lot, and he used to tell us little stories about the place, about how he would, go about the place and he'll find out that his mother can, come down and, she would get places for him. I forget.
Do you remember the name of that restaurant? What was that?
I think it was Taishan or was it Gindai or something like
I don't remember the name of it.
Neva remembers. I don't know.
Maybe Neva would remember.
And why did you said you first met him when you were about 5 or 6? Had they gone back to China and then come back over?
We met him when we met him right away.
We didn't meet him when we were 5 or 6. When we came back to New York, he was
2 and 3.
He was 2.
Okay.
He was
You were
1.
in Colorado?
He was
Oh, you were born in Colorado.
we were both born in Colorado. I was born in Denver, and he was born in Boulder. And about 2 years old or so, we all flew back to New York, and we moved to where he lives now.
Yeah.
So that we met Grandpa back when we moved back here.
We moved back here. I mean, my grandfather used to even travel all the way out to California and stuff, And Marty and David and Bobby, remember that.
You might want to take a view of, let's say, like this part of the street. I don't remember. It might have been that store or this one, but I think it's most likely right over here.
So that's how he spent almost every day when he was.
When he came down to Chinatown, he would hang out in that. It was called Guangwo-cheng, Qungwoccheung or something like that. Yeah.
And where did he live at the time?
Oh, he was living up in 138th Street.
So right over the hotel, right over the restaurant?
No. No, that was this block where leads up into City College. His restaurant wasn't it on 125th Street?
No, it's a few blocks north of where he lived.
Okay.
Well, that one he remembers.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I should go to the aphasia classes.
That's the apartment where your dad and my grandpa they were all born, right?
Yeah.
All born in that apartment, actually.
Yeah. It was a nice little place, and they had a TV, a round TV about this big.
Another story is that every year, Grandpa always wanted to go. There was an amusement park at Palisades, right? Palisades, which is on the other side of the Hudson River, and Grandpa would always want to take us there, and he won a TV with one of the first TVs in the 50s. I guess probably about 53, right? When the TVs started, right? It was round, probably about 8 inches, 8 inches round, and I don't know. We didn't know how we got it back, back to New York. You know, that big.
He won it at the Palisades?
He won it at Palisades Park.
And we used to watch Bruno San Martino, the
rest.
he was a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
yeah. I remember my grandfather used to like that show. You know.
He loved wrestling. You know,
Yeah.
that fake wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He must have worked so hard having all of the restaurants. Like that's pretty
Oh, yeah,
much
yeah,
24-hour
right,
work.
right.
He had
Late
8
early
kids.
mornings and all those
Yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah. So this some history of the Wong family here in New York City.
What do you remember of your Uncle George?
Uncle George, actually, I guess we met him when we took a road trip. My dad always loved road trips.
Road trips.
Out to Detroit, and Uncle George, he was always talkative, like
Yeah.
all the rest of the Wongs, you know. And he was ambidextrous, and he wrote with 2 hands. You know, he'd write a sentence leading into each hand, and then he'd write another sentence going back out exactly the same.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I can't believe that he never did that. I never saw that.
Yeah. Well, maybe because we were out there when he was young, when we were young, So that's
Yeah, probably somewhere around 7, 8, or 9, somewhere around there. And then we met him again, I guess, when Noel was going to school out in Wisconsin. We'd take Noel out and we'd stop over and visit. And I think we met you guys Lynette, when you were a baby.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember. Matt remembers our house, but I don't remember.
Noel was born in 56, and she was in college, let's see, probably 66, 70, maybe somewhere around late 60s, early 70s, maybe 70s, right? So
That's a blur to
you
me.
were born
71.
71.
Yeah.
So it would have to be around that time. I'm sure we met you.
Yeah.
You know, when you were a baby. Yep. But that's just we remember.
Right.
But Carl used to take us out and show us how to catch grasshoppers, right? He was grasshopper, right?
Yeah.
So is Chinatown always the same, or was it more vibrant at one point, or around here?
Chinatown, you couldn't even walk down the street without 100 people bumping into you.
Yeah.
Even right now, people. This was the only Chinatown in New York. So all of these streets that are restaurants now used to be grocery stores and restaurants. But a lot more grocery stores in here. Now you don't have one grocery store on this side of Canal Street in Chinatown. They're all north of Canal Street now. So, this place was crowded. Back in the days, we used to have fireworks here on Chinese New Year's too. And Giuliani mixed that.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of history. You got that?
Yeah.
Clementine, when I'm old and gray, right? You can tell me